right, welcome everyone to our Nursing, Social Work, and Gerontology live chat. We're so excited that you're joining us today. My name is Stephanie Lukazik. I am an Assistant Director of Admissions, so I will be kind of moderating the panel as we go along. For all of our attendees, your cameras are turned off and your microphones are muted. So if you have questions, please make sure that you're entering them into the chat. To kick things off, we're going to have everyone introduce themselves and talk a little bit about what they do here at St. Mary's and their program, and then we are going to open it up and answer all of your questions. So we will go ahead and get started. If April, you want to kick us off with introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm April Lane. I'm the undergraduate academic advisor for the Department of Nursing Science. So I started advising all the nursing majors in their second semester of their first year, and they stay with me all 4 years.
Great. Professor Weissel?
I'm Mary Cheesel, and I'm the undergraduate coordinator for the nursing program, the undergraduate nursing program. I currently teach 3 separate courses. I teach the sophomores physical assessment, and a little bit of the foundations, which is in the spring semester. And then I wait a year and then I get students again when they're seniors, and I teach the advanced med surg course.
All right, great. Dr. K?
Nice to be here tonight, Stephanie. Thank you for organizing this for us too. The best place to be is St. Mary's College, there's no doubt about it. And I'm fortunate enough to be in the social work program and in the division where nursing science is. And the courses that I teach have everything to do with some of my passions. First of all, it's introduction to social work, so we can start introducing students to the field of social work, the profession, and what we do. And that could be, again, very wide ranging, from school social work to working in gerontology, to working in mental health areas, clinical social work, and so on. And we'll talk about that tonight. The other course I am teaching right now is social policy. So it was very relevant because we study, analyze federal laws. We work with the University of Notre Dame in using their librarians as well and their input. And our students learn how to analyze social policies from local, state, and federal perspectives. It was fun.
It sounds very interesting. That's great. And Professor Linz, do you want to go next? We're glad you were able to join us.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having some technical issues, but hopefully they'll hold steady. So we're at this point, we're introducing ourselves, correct?
Yes.
I'm so glad to see everybody. It's just a pleasure to meet you and to be here. I am also in the social work and gerontology department and get to work with Dr. K and Kat and Beck. I teach social work research, which is not as daunting or scary as it sounds. It's actually quite fun. And I get to teach in the gerontology program, everything from policy to human development as an older person. So what does it mean for us to grow older, especially as the growing older population is just on the rise across disciplines? So I get to work with music majors in the Gero program and speech language and nursing. It's very interdisciplinary program, and it is just such a joy to see people exploring what it means to grow older across the different disciplines. So thank you for being here, and I'm just very happy to see you all.
Awesome. All right. So we have a few of our current students within the nursing and social work program. So Hannah, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about your experience within the program and kind of what brought you to St. Mary's?
Okay, my name is Hannah. I am actually from Florida, so pretty far away from St. Mary's, which was a big jump for me, but I'm very happy I did it. I went here because my mom went here and my aunt and all of my cousins went to Notre Dame, so it's a big family thing. I was definitely very nervous to come here at first, but so excited with my decision and I would do it again 100%. I am a nursing major. I'm a senior, so I'm going to graduate pretty soon, and Within the program, I actually have Professor Cheezel right now, so that's a lot of fun. But I work really close with our professors, go to their office hours, things like that. And I'm actually on the Student Nursing Association board. I'm the treasurer for that, which senior year you can run for, and then like the student body like votes for you to get that position. So we do a lot with that, and then we do a lot with the community. We have like donations for Hannah's House, which is a local community that we're going on right now. It was a mass sale that we did, and we do clinicals at the hospitals, and then we also do things within the different communities with clinical hours, especially in your senior year. So you're getting to see like all different sides of South Bend, and then being able to like give back to the community too.
Awesome. Great. Rebecca, would you like to go next?
Hi, I am Rebecca Claibor. I am a social work major and with a minor in business and theater here at St. Mary's. I'm from South Bend, Indiana. I have grown up here all my life, and I just always knew I wanted to go to St. Mary's. It always intrigued me, and I just wanted to come here. And I love it. It was the best decision ever. I would never like make another decision for undergrad. So I'm in the social work department. I am currently in our senior year. We go out into the field, so we are going out to different agencies. And currently, right now, I'm at Riley High School in South Bend. And so I just get to work with students. It's been kind of tricky with COVID happening, but we're making do, and I get to learn just like how to file paperwork and all the policy behind it, which I know Dr. K definitely loves policy. So it's very important. It's crucial all the way across the board. And just getting to learn how to just work with kids and just get to know them and have that relationship with them. So that's what my senior year is looking like right now.
Awesome. Awesome. And how about you, Kat? Last but not least.
Save the best for last, I always say. Okay, so I am a senior social work and psychology double major. As Rebecca like touched on, we do field work, and my placement right now is at AIDS Ministry / AIDS Assist, and I help people who have been affected by HIV and AIDS. And honestly, I love this experience. I love what I'm doing. I'm learning so much about how to talk to people, how to engage with them. Also touching with Professor Lyons, we do a bunch of research. We have been working on this research for like almost 2 semesters now. And it's been great, but also want to get it done. But honestly, I have loved St. Mary's. They have treated me well. Now my senior year, I'm an RA in McCandless. So any of your perspectives wanting to come and live in a dorm, McCandless is the freshman dorm that you could choose from. What else am I in? Sisterhood of Service, and we are a community service kind of club. And not only do we do community service outside of St. Mary's, but we are a community ourselves. And I do so much, but those are the main 2 that I have right now going on. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Awesome. So for all of our attendees, just if you weren't here at the very beginning, you are muted and your video is turned off, but please type any questions that you have for our panelists in the chat, and I will moderate that and make sure that all of your questions do get answered. But to kind of kick us off with the questions, I know a question we get a lot in the admission office is, are you directly admitted into the nursing and social work programs when you apply, or is there a separate application process for either program?
I'll start. I'm Mary with the nursing department. We do not have direct admission your first year. So you're going to be required to complete sciences both in your first year as well as in your sophomore year, and then halfway in the spring semester of your sophomore year, that's when you petition for the major. And in order to be admitted to the program, your science GPA, as well as 2 nursing courses is calculated in that. And you have to have a 2.8 in order to be considered to be admitted to the program. So currently we don't have direct admission from a first year point of view. You are admitted to the program, providing that you have the 2.8 GPA, and you would get a letter in between your sophomore or in the summer right before your junior year, whether you were admitted to the program.
How about for social work?
You want me to go ahead? I'll go ahead and take this one. In terms of coming into the program, it's really a journey to find social work because it's such, again, like nursing, such a passionate profession. We're an accredited program, nationally accredited for the last 2 cycles, 8-year cycles. So for 16 years plus, we had a perfect accreditation. The national accrediting body asked us no questions. They found no issues with our program whatsoever, only very glowing comments. What has happened is then with accreditation, it allows our students to do 1 less year of an MSW program. So when students go on to want to do a master's degree in social work, they usually only have to take a year instead of 2 years. And that has helped a great deal with students who want to go on and get a position, go up in their careers, help more people. The admission process for us is that we do ask that you at least speak with me for an interview. And then we also involve our other 2 full-time faculty members. So it's vetted in terms of if that student wants to come into the program, we will find a place for that student. We have a field practicum coordinator who also works with Professor Sanchez, who also works with our students to do the field placements. I'll let our students talk about that later. But it really is, again, a passion to come into social work. So we invite anyone and everyone to talk with us.
And it looks like we have a question from Roxanne. And I think what she's asking is if she doesn't have the GPA or doesn't think that it's a good fit for her, will she be able to does she have time to try to like retake a class or like get the GPA that she needs to get into the program?
I'll take that one. Yes, she can retake a class to raise the GPA. The other possibilities, if she decides it's not a good fit for her, I can work with her to help her explore some other majors and then help her talk to whoever she needs to talk to actually get placed in the new major. So we will stay behind her and help her out, help her find her path.
Okay, great. And then how many students with a GPA above a 2.8 are admitted into the nursing program each year?
We have a limit of 56 that we can accommodate, and we usually have around that many. Professor Cheesel, would you agree?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yes, absolutely. We're usually at the limit of 56.
Great. And could you talk about kind of what the first year as far as courses look like for both programs, for both the nursing program and the social work program? Are they in like a specific set of classes, or do they have kind of some flexibility with the courses that they're taking within that first year?
You want me to take? You want to go first, Dr. K?
Go ahead, April.
For the nursing major, they do have to begin from the get-go, so to speak, with the nursing prerequisite courses, or they're off sequence. So in the first year, they take anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 and a chemistry course and some math. So those are the things that are really the requirements for the major. And then they take some general education courses. In the second year, they continue more with nursing and general education. And then if they're admitted to the major in the junior year, then it's mostly nursing from then on out, but they still have a little room to finish up their general education requirements. And I do see someone asked how many people, or if anyone is denied to the nursing program. I will say that we have never had to turn anyone away. We usually we don't end up with more applicants than we can accept. So it has not been an issue heretofore.
And Dr. Lyons, do you want to talk about our beginning courses and what we do in the curriculum?
Yeah, and then you could fill in the blanks with that in the beginning, this take the intro to social work and the policy class. And there's the diversity, working with diverse populations. I'm not sure what year that comes in. I'm relatively new at St. Mary's, so I'm learning the full curriculum. I'm looking at the chat too. There was a question, and then I'll let you answer more specifically, Fran. But somebody asked if there are 56 positions in the social work department. We have space for 25 students, if that's correct. Fran can clarify. And the other question is it possible to double major with nursing and social work? If not, can they minor in one or the other? So I'm going to pass it over to you, Fran, if that's okay.
Thank you, Dr. Lyons. And then I'm going to ask maybe April to take this up too, if you would, because I think she's the expert on this, because she works so closely with everybody in the college, including us. April, do you want to take that first, maybe about the double major?
Sure. Nursing, it's very difficult to double major because it's a very credit heavy major. And I think I would probably say the same for social work. Dr. K, would you agree?
I would.
Yeah, both majors have over 60 credit hours just for the major, which does not leave a lot of room for a double major. It is possible to minor with both majors. We don't have a nursing minor though, and you do have a social work minor though. So yes, it is definitely possible to do a social work minor or gerontology minor with the nursing major. It does take careful planning, but and maybe some summer school because of the nature of the program. It's so credit heavy, but we have some students who do minor.
Very well explained. Thanks, April. Thanks, Dr. Lyons.
Great. And we have a question for our students. What is dorm life like? Say whoever.
Kat, I'll let you take that one.
So as I said, I'm an RA McCandless, and I also lived in the other freshman dorm, Regina, when I was a first year. Honestly, I like it. It's one of those, it's a good experience to get away from the family and everything. McCandless has that very social atmosphere where you're like talking to most of your friends like on your floor, and you do have a study carrel here. And Regina is more of not like a more quiet dorm. It's more of they have more space to just be themselves and everything. But like speaking as an RA McCandless, we are more social. We do like to talk. Stuff has been kind of calmed down since COVID, of course, but definitely a great experience for everyone. Even if you commute, you could still make friends, but I say dorm life is like one of the best parts of being at St. Mary's. You make your friends here. It's like sleepovers all the time. So not to get off topic off my majors and everything, but
no, that's okay. I would say they have some general questions too. Hannah, Rebecca, do you have anything to add about living on campus?
Yeah, so I'm actually also an RA, but I was in McCandless last year, and I'm in Lamont this year, which is the upperclassmen building. I love both of it. I loved working with the freshmen, but I also love working with the upperclassmen. I also do like recommend being an RA. I know like a lot of people have told me, oh, like it's pretty hard with nursing, but I love being an RA, like being there for people. I think my favorite part about living in the dorm room is like being able to go to mass, like in your pajamas with your best friend, like down the hall. And it's honestly so much different from going to mass back home. Something that I'll never forget. And you have mass right there in the dorm. And so I think that's like the best part about it too. So.
So I currently this year live off campus since I'm from South Bend. But the past 3 years though, I lived on campus, which I loved. And my parents were like really encouraging, like for me, like to live on campus to get that experience. And I loved it. I really miss waking up like 10 minutes before my class and walking to class every day. Now I have to get up earlier to drive here. But I really do miss that atmosphere. I mean, I still love coming on campus and hanging out with my friends. I really love dorm life and just being here with everybody because you can just stay up with them till like 1 a.m. and trumper in the library and just study away and then be like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, and like you just like walk back together. But I love it.
Awesome, awesome. So we have a couple of questions from Colleen kind of surrounding the clinicals. She wanted to know what hospitals in South Bend or their surrounding area nursing students do clinicals and the placement outcomes for nursing for how many are graduating with hospital employment.
The area we use, the two big hospitals in the area. So we use Memorial as well as St. Joe Medical Center for our clinicals. And then for the community nursing course, there's some community sites, obviously, that they go to for that community clinical. Nursing is a very sought after job. All of our students are employed. I mean, the new regulation kind of is, it depends, COVID has affected it, but hospitals would not hire a graduate until they pass the state boards, also known as NCLEX. Well, hospitals in May and June have kind of relaxed that rule, but if students look for a job, they will get a job. I mean, we have students that go to Indianapolis. We have a large cohort of students who go to the Chicago area hospitals. We have students who do externships down at Cleveland Clinic, and they go down to Duke. So they just go all over and have wherever their interest is, they usually, like 95%, can find a job that is in the field that they want to work. Great. Sought after career.
Awesome. So there's an admission question from Kaylee. She asked, how do you find more scholarship opportunities? Do you have any advice on where to apply or advice in general for applying for scholarships? So for all of our students, all you have to do to be considered for St. Mary's merit-based scholarships is apply for admission. If you are admitted, you will receive financial aid from us. And part of that could include your merit-based scholarship. And then we highly encourage families to submit the free application for federal student aid, the Fafsa, to kind of look into the need-based aid. But I highly encourage you to talk with your school counselor. There are so many communities that have local community foundations and local area scholarships. So your school should have all of the information on how you apply for those. You can look online at scholarships.com and FAFSAweb.com and things like that, but you definitely need to watch with those because some of them are asking you to pay money to do scholarship searches and things like that. You don't want to do that. You just want to do things that are free. So there are lots of different ways to look for scholarships that are out there. So you just need to take the time. You might have to write some essays, but definitely, you'll have your St. Mary's financial aid and scholarships. And then we do accept any outside scholarships that you find that will go on top of that as well. So we have a question for the students from Jessica. She said, how has St. Mary's helped you grow in your faith and fellowship? So Hannah, how about you take this one first?
Okay. So I did not go to a Catholic school growing up. I went to a public school, which when I came up here was like everyone goes to a Catholic school, I swear. But I definitely I learned how to pray the rosary my sophomore year of college. I went to the Right for Life March in DC sophomore year, and I actually learned on the bus on the way there. So definitely have learned a lot being at St. Mary's. I have grown so much closer to and have met other people who like want to help me get there and like grow in my faith. I definitely don't think I would be the person I was if it wasn't for the faith that St. Mary's like provides you. There is like mass every night, and then there's mass on Sunday night too. And even at Notre Dame, there's like milkshake mass in the guys' dorms that we would go to. That's a lot of fun. And then there's also like you can go to confession, you can go and talk to anyone that you want to. There's a lot of people that you can like talk to about your faith, which I think is awesome. And it's really interesting to think about, like my friends go to state schools back home and they have to like Uber to church or something like that. So the fact that you have it on campus is just something that you don't think about a lot. And I think that's like very special. Like in Lamont, the chapel's on the 3rd floor, and like you can live on the 3rd floor. So like sometimes like you'll see the priest like just walking down the halls, like going to mass. So definitely St. Mary's has that outlet, but then also if you're not religious, it's also not like down your throat, like kind of thing. You can be who you are, and St. Mary's definitely prides that. So
Rebecca or Kat, anything that you would like to add? It's okay.
I definitely like second Hannah and everything. Like, you can definitely grow in your faith here, and even if like you don't follow like the Catholic faith, that people do not like shy away from it, or like they welcome everybody. They don't turn you away, and it is really nice to like have the opportunity to go to mass as much as you do at St. Mary's. And I thought it was really interesting. I've never heard of anyone Ubering to mass, but you do not have to do that here, so that's great.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with everything they're saying. Like, honestly, in like 3 hours, I will be going to Milkshake Mass over at Notre Dame with a friend. And I think it's like, for me, it's like your whole life, your parents are telling you to go to Mass and everything like that. But this is like, now it's your choice. Now you are forefronting your passions, your faith. And it's something you just feel so much more adult. You guys are going to feel adult here and making your decisions and like forging your own path. So that's what I like about St. Mary's. And they have plenty of events that the ministry assistants or your MAs are going to be living with you, and you could go with them for guidance. And they live with you and they talk to you. They do events with you. One of them just did a walking around the cemetery kind of event today. So that's what I really liked about St. Mary's. Like, I made the choice. I make my own pathway with my faith, with my fellowship.
Yeah. And building off of Kat, just a second, because she said that she's going to milkshake mask at Notre Dame, and there's a lot of like working together with Notre Dame. So if you were interested in going to mass over at the Basilica, or at Notre Dame at all, like you're definitely able to. They're welcome St. Mary's girls there all the time. So if you just like want to go there, or have friends over there that you know going to Notre Dame, and you're going to St. Mary's, and you're like, let's meet up for mass, you're more than welcome to as well.
Awesome. So we had a question about how rigorous it is, and I guess we could answer for both. How rigorous is the nursing program? How rigorous is the social work program? And so faculty and students, you can both answer this. And is it possible? Do you have time to get involved in things outside of your studies for the students? Kind of going off of that as well.
I'll answer part of the rigorous part. St. Mary's is not an easy major. I'm sorry, nursing is not an easy major, but it's just the nature of the major. We're preparing you to take care of people who are ill, who have the potential to die. So it's going to be strict. It's going to be a very tough major. In addition to the other thing that's a little bit different about nursing is that, at least depending upon the courses you're taking, you're at a minimum of once a week, you are in the clinical setting in the hospital. And depending upon the nursing course, that amount of time could be 8, 10, or 12 hours that you're completely away from campus. Some of our courses you're required to go the night before to pre-assess. So there's a couple hours there. So it is a tough major. There's no doubt about it, but it's well worth the work. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I like taking care of people. I also like the pathophysiology part of it. So I'm a med surg person. That's what I like. If you are organized, the majority of nursing, I would think, is being organized with your time. We have students who are on extracurricular activities. They join clubs. We have students who are, right now, I know we have a volleyball player. We've had tennis players. So you can also be in sports, but you really have to be organized and stick to a study plan to do well in the major. Anna, do you have any tips?
Yeah, so the biggest tip I can give you guys is like work hard your freshman and sophomore year to get into the major, because then it'll make it a lot easier once you get in. I had a friend freshman year who was in the nursing major, and it just wasn't something that she was passionate about, and that will definitely show like within how much you study. And then if you don't want to study, then you're obviously not going to do well. It's challenging, but if you like it, then you'll want to study for it, I guess, because the stuff is so interesting. I'm an RA, and that takes up a lot of time. It's a job that is actually helps pay for school a lot for me. It actually pays for your dorm room, which I think saves you a lot of money. So you can do, like, I'm an RA, I'm in the SNA club, the Student Nursing Association. I'm in clubs. I do the intramural sports here at St. Mary's. There is time for it, but like Professor Cheezel said, like, you do have to be organized. I think that I am very organized, but I also think it's also like learning like how to manage your time. I think a lot of people, when they come to school, you don't know how to study for this new stuff. And you definitely learn like through maybe you get a bad grade on one test and you learn how maybe I should study a different way. And then when you actually get into the nursing program, it's different types of questions, and you definitely have to train your mind how to learn those. But it's possible, and you can do it. You just have to put your mind to it. And then just to answer one question that I saw is like, if you need a car to go to clinical. I don't have a car. We always just like carpool with everyone. So, I mean, you can do it. But yeah, I think it's definitely doable. It's fun, and you get to hang out with everyone and you study together, and then you get closer that way too. So.
In the helping professions, we work quite a lot with self-care. So I think any of the panelists up here can talk about that in terms of looking at resiliency and looking at mindfulness and trying to again model that for everyone that we see when we have, if there's patients or clients, to understand that we have to be as together as we possibly can to be able to provide that student, that service to those that we serve. So we really encourage all our students to be involved in clubs and organizations, because we feel that there is a real balance then for students as well.
Awesome. So, Kaylee, congratulations on your acceptance. And so submitting the FAFSA determines is what you have to do to be considered for any need-based aid. So by submitting the FAFSA, your information goes to the financial aid office, and then they will see if, based on that information, if you qualify for any of the federal grants or student loans or work study money or St. Mary's College need-based grant money. So that FAFSA is what you need to do in order to be considered for the need-based aid that is out there. And typically for St. Mary's, we will usually start sending the financial aid award letters January, February-ish, kind of based on the order that we received the FAFSA. The FAFSA opened on October 1st, so you can definitely go and get that submitted as soon as you're able to do so. And then I know with we talked a little bit about the clinical experiences with the nursing program, but could you talk a little bit more about the practicum experiences for the social work students, what they kind of get involved in, and some of the places that they do their practicums?
Yeah, so I'll start off. So again, I am currently at Riley High School. We also will go to like a family justice center, which focuses on violence, mainly against like towards women or children. They partner with CASA as well. We also have people at Ryan's Place, which is more about bereavement, grief with children. Um, there are people at like the hospitals. They'll go to St. Joe Hospital and work with mothers and I think it's premature. If correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. K. But I think it's mainly yes. Okay. And then we have just like people all around the South Bend community, like with at the school corporation. Some will go up to even like Niles, Michigan, which is a little bit up away. I know it just like wherever whatever people really are interested in. We go through a whole process during our junior year, and we went on some tours. We went on to the Family Justice Center to see and just observe how that whole organization works and runs. And so then we apply to those organizations and we work with the field instructor at St. Mary's here. And we do an interview and you go in and you get a feel for just how everything is. And you can even do a like go in and watch after like somebody else
Shadowing.
Shadowing. Yes. I was like, what's the word? Yes. Shadowing. Yeah. You can go in and shadow somebody if you want to, just to see like if this is a correct placement for you or if you'd like somewhere else. They're very open and I know that they don't usually have a lot of changes like when you go to someplace, but I know that they are very flexible and will help you figure out where exactly you fit.
Yeah. To add on to that, the whole process of finding a placement is like a job interview. Like St. Mary's really makes you feel back to being an adult and going into adulting. It really like prepares you into that way. So having the whole interview process, we go to our fields twice a week during your senior year. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you average like 16 hours per week because we have to, for the accreditation and to get advanced standing, we have to get at least 800 hours for the whole year. So it's just working with the placement and working with our teachers, our professors, and everything like that. So it kind of just goes into that whole critical thinking, using our skill sets, paying attention to, I had the whole NSAW code of ethics into going into that field. I had it like right here. I swear I was doing a paper about it.
Awesome. Dr. K, anything to add from the faculty perspective?
I would love to add one part of this. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Because we have Professor Leonard Sanchez, who works with each student to determine what her best field placement may be, what meets her area of interest, supervises from beginning to end, visits the students, now more virtually than ever, of course. But we have someone in Professor Sanchez who's totally dedicated to make sure that field placement is successful and that learning outcomes are met. And what's really good about social work is that you also have competencies. There's 9 competencies we do. In the olden days, we used to just make sure it was in the syllabi. Now all the students have to be able to determine, to demonstrate that they actually have the competencies of research, of being able to work in the field. So it's absolutely excellent. And he does a great job.
Great. So there is a question from Isabella. She says, I've been accepted to St. Mary's. Congratulations. Will you be offering any on-site visits that will allow me to come and see the campus myself? So Isabella, right now we are offering outdoor student-led campus tours. So you're able on the tour to see the library, the athletic center, and the student center. Our students are getting close to wrapping up the semester here in a few weeks, and then they will have winter break until February 3rd, correct me if I'm wrong. So the admission office, will still be offering tours. You might have an admission counselor leading that tour or a student. We do have some students helping us out over the break as well. So you can come and tour campus. On Fridays and Saturdays before that campus tour, we are offering a general admission presentation. But right now we aren't offering any one-on-one information sessions or faculty visits or classroom visits, just for the safety of everyone. But as things kind of progress and change, we're always looking at how the COVID is affecting the world, and if we're able to add additional opportunities. I do recommend checking stmarys.edu/visit to learn all about all of our different options. We are also offering tons of virtual options. You can take a student-led virtual tour if you're not able to make it to campus. We're doing several different like chats and webinars throughout the rest of the year and the semester. So definitely you can come to visit campus, but it's just a tour. And if you come on Friday or Saturday, an admission presentation as well. But keep checking back for updates all throughout the rest of the year. And then Bridget was asking, if you want to pursue a major in nursing, but you're interested in pre-med, could you always apply to med school with a nursing degree after graduation?
I can take that one. Pre-med is actually a different curriculum than nursing, quite different. So you could be a nursing major and go to medical school eventually, but you would have to complete the prerequisites that are required for medical school. So it's a different set of chemistry classes, it's different biology, it's some physics, it's a lot, it's more math, it's just a really different curriculum. So yeah, it would require definitely more preparation to go to medical school on top of the nursing major.
One thing that I would like to say is a lot of people, at least I didn't know this when I applied to St. Mary's. St. Mary's has a DNP program, which is a Doctor of Nurse Practitioner, which is an additional 4 years after you graduate, and I'm actually applying to it right now. So what that includes is, yeah, you can apply into the family nurse practitioner program or into like the acute care. So what this will do, like if you get your DNP, you will be about like a higher level nursing. So you will have like leadership skills and things like that, but then you'll also be able to like go on rounds like within the hospital and like have patients. And then also you can like work in a doctor's office. There's a lot out there. And one thing that I didn't know about the DNP program until a couple of days ago is that you can decide like the track that you want to go on when you're in your you have to decide before your 3rd year actually in the program. So like if after you graduate, you're like, oh, like I really just don't know like what kind of nursing I want to do yet. Like it's okay. Like you can start the program and then like figure out what you want to do too. So that's like a really great opportunity that St. Mary's has. And just the fact that you got your nursing degree from St. Mary's, and then like if you want to apply into the DNP program, that shows that like, you know, you'll have the same professors and things like that. So it's kind of like a family thing, especially because nursing is so small. So I think that's something like really special about St. Mary's that I think a lot of people don't know about, but we're getting the word out. So
great. Lydia wanted to know if anyone can speak to the advantages and disadvantages of direct placement versus delayed placement into a nursing program.
I can take that unless you want to take it, Professor Cecil. Okay. I think honestly, there's not a lot of difference. If you read the fine print on the direct admit information, they still have a GPA requirement. You could still not be allowed to stay in the program if you don't meet their requirements. So it's more semantics, I think, than anything. At St. Mary's, all students declare their major in their 2nd year, and everyone is admitted to the major after that. So it's just the way the college works. And as long as you have the GPA, you get admitted. So it's really not, I don't think it's much different in practice. It's kind of a lot of words that don't mean a lot, if that makes sense.
Awesome. And then Jessica asked, when will aid-based scholarships be sent out? So Jessica, our merit-based scholarships, if you are admitted, you'll have your merit-based scholarship information with your acceptance letter. So you'll know that early on. And then any of your overall financial aid award letter won't come out until January, February, March, kind of based on when you submit your FAFSA and when that information comes out. So you're going to know your merit-based scholarship early on, and then you do, depending on how early you apply and those types of things, depends on exactly when you're going to get your overall financial aid award letter. So I have a question. I would say, I know we've been talking a lot about both the clinicals and the practicum experiences. How have they been impacted by COVID? Were there any major hurdles that our students had to climb? Were they able to just continue with those experiences, or how have they been changed?
Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, sorry, Fran.
No, please. I was going to nominate something else anyway.
There are a set of policies and procedures that students are required to complete, but for the hospital, like taking temperatures before they go to clinical and answering questions related to COVID symptoms. I should knock on wood because we only have one more week of clinical, but so far, our students have been allowed to go to clinical, take care of the patients with a few exceptions. If somebody is receiving a respiratory aerosol treatment, or if they are on a BiPAP machine, they ask that we not take care of them. Most hospitals have dedicated COVID units. So for example, one of the units that we currently use, half of the unit became a COVID unit a couple weeks ago. So that affected the number of students that we could have on that unit. But we were able to work it out with the hospital. So right now it's having a minimal impact on the students' clinical, on them able to complete the clinical hours with patients. What was the other, you asked me another question. I was going to piggyback onto that.
I
don't know.
I was like, I'm not sure. I know I said just if they were able to still complete their clinicals and practicums, if there were any like major changes or obstacles for the students.
No, right now, we've had some students that have been in quarantine and isolation, and we are having those students still complete their clinical hours by putting them in a little bit of a different rotation. But right now, with 1 week left, hopefully we will continue to complete that clinical.
Awesome. How about for our social work students and their practicum?
For social work, I would like to ask Kat, because she was actually interviewed by the Observer, the St. Mary's Notre Dame Holy Cross newspaper, about this exact same issue.
So as of right now, my placement is virtual. I got into, I think 4 weeks ago, I was able to go in person, and we did a whole staggering schedule where I was in 1 week, then I was in another week, and that's how it kind of went. But as of right now, I am virtual, and then going forward through the rest of the semester, I'm going to be virtual, because clients, you don't know what they're doing, what's happening with their lives, and who they have been exposed to. But though it has its challenges, the field instructors really show you how to think critically about the clients. Like, I have notes upon notes about people and stuff like that, and I still go with the NSAW and being confidential and everything like that. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. Like, I still engage with the clients with like talking to them on Zoom or talking with them on the phone with like telehealth. So yes, it has presented a challenge, and I wish I was in person getting that whole experience. But for right now, I understand the circumstances and how it's going on. And I have friends who tell me like what their experience is with COVID, and it's so different. And it kind of seems kind of more lonely to be over there, not having like kids or anything like that. So it's kind of just, we kind of just go with the flow, see how we're going with it.
And Rebecca has been in person. Rebecca, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Kat is referencing me about how sad it is that I don't have any kids. I didn't have kids for a while. Oh my gosh. That was like really hard to go into a high school and not see any kids at all. So what we did during that time was we worked on just like some paperwork stuff, more so like what we had to do to make sure like kids who had a disability, those accommodations were being met. In the classroom, even e-learning. And then after a while, we started to go on home visits. We did not actually go into the homes, so don't freak out. We stood outside and we just went to check on the kids just to make sure that they had what they needed. Like they have Chromebooks, all of them in the community. The South Bend Community School Corporation has a Chromebook, so we want to make sure that they all had access to it to complete their e-learning. And we just got to reach out to them that way, which is a different way than like my social worker has ever done it. Like she's been working at that high school for 23 years and she knows her job very well. And she's like, this is crazy. We've never done this before. I've never gone on like home visits this much or done webinars. So I've gotten to learn just different techniques and things around the high school. And now the kids are back. It has been still a challenge because half of them, like A through K, are there Monday and Tuesday, and then L through Z are there Thursday and Friday. And if people don't want to come into school, they can just do e-learning the whole entire year. So there are kids that I don't even know, I've never even seen before because they just do e-learning. So it's hard to connect with kids, but we actually did something with them today at their lunch period, which actually was pretty fun. They won't admit that was fun, but it was. We just did trivia and I enjoy it. I love working with them. It's created some difficulties with COVID, but we're still making do and I still get to learn how to be a social worker in the school.
Awesome, great. Hannah, do you want to talk a little bit about like your experiences with your clinicals and how those have gone so far?
Yeah, so so you start doing clinicals your junior year. And you do like a bunch of different ones. You do like psych, OB, acute med surge, and then also like chronic, like patients with cancer. So it's actually, and then when you get into your senior year, you do leadership, community, advanced, and then leadership. So you get in leadership, you get to kind of pick the floor that you're going to be on. With going into like junior year clinicals and senior years, you see a big change in yourself, just how you present yourself within the patients, then even within your knowledge. Clinical is definitely where you put your knowledge to the test. On the medications, on how to talk to patients. That's probably one of the hardest things, I think, is just learning how to talk to them, especially when, they might not be feeling well. Clinical is definitely the best part about nursing, I think. It's when you get to go to clinical with your friends in nursing, so you're never like really alone. And then you get to learn, and then your professor is there with you throughout the day, so you can ask them questions. And then you actually are in the hospital, so you kind of get a feel for what potentially could be your job outlook. And then also just being a part of St. Mary's, like having St. Mary's as like my background, they've opened so many doors with like opportunities. This summer I went to Georgetown Hospital and worked in the emergency department as an internship. They did not cancel it even with COVID because, nurses are in such a high demand. So I think because I had St. Mary's in that background, they opened that door for me. They told me about this internship and I was able to do it, and it was so much fun. And I don't know what kind of nursing I want to do yet. I have a pretty good idea, but I'm not 100%. But I think doing the different clinicals opens you up to see different things. You might be like, oh, like that's something I probably won't like, but then you go to the clinical and you're like, wow, I actually really loved that. So that's another reason why clinicals are so important, is so that you can see what you like. And there's a lot out with nursing that a lot of people, don't even know about. So I think St. Mary's does a good job of like a well-rounded clinical experience too.
Awesome. So
Can I add on to what Hannah was?
yes.
One of the things that's really unique about St. Mary's is we have 56 students. In some state schools in nursing, you're looking at 400, 500 nursing students. So St. Mary's does a really good job of usually who's ever teaching the nursing course in the classroom is who you also have in clinical. So there's a very good communication with faculty and with students during all these classes. And the other thing that St. Mary's, I think, really should pride itself on is faculty. You have a ton of resources to make you successful in whatever program you decide to enroll in at St. Mary's. Faculty there are there to help you learn and help you with the content. That doesn't mean we're going to teach for the test, but there's just resources upon resources for you to be successful in the nursing program.
Awesome, awesome. So Colleen is asking, kind of goes a little bit off of what some of what Hannah said, but has COVID changed the hiring climate for nursing students who graduated in the class of 2020 or the beginning of the hiring cycle for current seniors?
I'm not aware of any. No, they're hiring. Yes, they are hiring nurses. They need.
Do they seem more in demand? I think maybe is what she's
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So I know we haven't really said anything or mentioned much about gerontology, but kind of how does that fit? Do we see a lot of students, even within like nursing, social work, taking advantage of the gerontology program? And can we talk a little bit about that since we haven't yet?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's pretty amazing that as the baby boomers grow older, we've got 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every single day. And this impacts every single field, from nursing to social work, speech language pathology. So the gerontology courses, which if you're interested in a gerontology minor, many of the courses double dip. So they'll count towards your social work degree, they'll count towards your speech language degree. I've had classes that have had math majors, business majors, nursing majors. I had a lot of speech language and social work majors. It's so much fun because then I have each student gear their assignments towards their major and their passion so that they can apply gerontology to their field. So we get to learn, me as a social worker and a chaplain, I get to learn about what it means to grow older in these other fields. It's so much fun.
Awesome. So we have about 4 minutes left. So I always kind of like to wrap things up with, can you talk about, and I know we've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but for our faculty and staff members here with us, can you talk a little bit about what sets St. Mary's social work and nursing departments apart from others, and kind of what keeps you at St. Mary's? And for our students, kind of what brought you to St. Mary's? What are your favorite things about St. Mary's, and any advice that you can give to our potential future students? So Dr. K, do you want to kick us off?
I really do. I think Professor Cheezel said it best when she talked about the individual attention that the nursing faculty and the nursing staff give to the students. It's amazing. Those of us who have been in those settings have even seen our own nursing students there too. They're just fantastic. What I found that even by being at St. Mary's, period, it is such a special place that people will ask me, why am I so happy about going there? Because I literally would get out of the car and almost dance up to the building. And the reason why is because of this great relationship that the students and the faculty and the staff have with each other. They really deeply care about one another. And that comes through in everything that occurs, from what April is doing with the advising in nursing, what we're doing with our administrative assistant, Mrs. Burbanos, who's there all the time for our students virtually and physically whenever she can get there, either way that she's allowed to. The reality is that St. Mary's, the social work program, and I have to, my colleagues in nursing, we're all really there to help the students. That's first and foremost. I don't think I've ever witnessed a situation like that, where everything from, I'm in faculty meetings and everything is always geared towards what's best for the students every single time.
I mean, I would agree. I love what I do. I love to teach. I love the St. Mary students. I mean, I'm still friends with people from 10 years ago. You know, I still get texts from them. It's just a unique community. We all work together for the good of the student. So I get frustrated when you send emails to students and say, hey, come see me because I'm concerned about your grades, and then they don't show up, and I'm like, you're really missing a good opportunity, because we want you to be a nurse. We want you to live out your dreams and your passion to be a nurse. So it is a great place. I will say that I've never been at a institution like St. Mary's.
And I also say, I think that the liberal arts background that students get makes for a special nurse and social worker, I'm sure too, because you're not just getting the professional part of the education, you're really getting a broad-based liberal arts education as well, really learning the critical thinking skills like Hannah was talking about. That really sets St. Mary's nurses and social workers apart.
Anybody else have anything to add?
To get more of like a student perspective on it, I can definitely like agree about the professors just being always there for you. I know there was a question a while back about switching majors, or like, can you change your major that is not nursing? Like, I came in actually as like a nursing just freshman year, first semester. And I decided that it wasn't this helping the area that I wanted to help in with for people. So I went and met with Dr. K, and it just clicked. And there are just moments where like there are majors that you're gonna think you're gonna go into, and then you're just gonna click, and that something else is gonna happen. And it just really depends. And like the professors are always there for you to help guide you. I know that they have so many resources for in like the career office that you can take tests, you can figure out what fits for you and take a couple of classes here and there to just help you out. But professors are definitely there. Like I could tell them like it's bad, but like I could tell them like I was having a hard time with a paper or something, and they'd give me an extension, and they're like, oh, I understand, like you can definitely have an extension, like just like one more day. Like I know you're a hardworking student, and just having that open communication with the professor, and just they actually care about you, and like they know that you care and you want to do well in their class. So that's something that I know that a lot of people don't have at other colleges, but it's something really special at St. Mary's that I love.
Awesome. Well, we are at 2 minutes after 8 o'clock, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. To all of our attendees, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you do have additional questions, you can feel free to always contact your admission counselor. If you're not sure who that is, you can contact the admission office at admission@stmarys.edu. We are here to help you through the entire admission process. If you have questions about specific majors, any additional questions about social work or nursing, you can reach out to your admission counselor. If we don't know the answer, we will check in with our faculty and make sure we are getting you all the information you want to know. But a huge thank you to all of our faculty, staff, and students who have joined us and shared all of this wonderful information tonight. So we thank you and applaud you for being willing to help us with this. But everyone have a great night, and hopefully we will see you on campus or hear from you virtually soon. Bye, everyone.